Raheem Sterling is officially a gunner.
Well, when time is up, he just does it time after time after time.
Gorgeous ball through. Sterling goes inside. Driven across the face of goal and in from Raheem Sterling.
After the departure of Emile Smith-Rowe, Reiss Nelson, and Nketiah, there were questions around the depth of Arsenal's attack, but they came up big on deadline day, picking up a 29-year-old proven Premier League winger. With how close Arsenal have come to winning the title, they know the margins are tiny. They need every advantage they can get, and who better than a man who has won the league multiple times, many of them with Arteta by his side. While some might doubt Sterling because of his tenure with Chelsea,
Raheem Sterling, world class.
Yeah.
It's nonsense. He's not a world class footballer.
We are talking about a player, Raheem Sterling, who have been very poor for the past 4 years.
Sterling has done nothing in the last 2 years that suggests he makes Arsenal any better.
there's a lot of things about the Englishman that should get Arsenal fans excited. The Sterling signing is a low-risk, high-reward deal. He is coming on a season-long loan where Arsenal paid no loan transfer fee and Chelsea are paying half of his salary. So from a purely financial perspective, there's only upside. Arsenal easily won the negotiations because Chelsea had no leverage. They had made it public that they did not want Sterling.
Spoke with Raheem before City game. He said that going to struggle to get minutes with us. I'm not saying that Raheem is no good player, but I prefer different kind of wingers.
Plus now you get to watch this lovely T-Rex running style at the Emirates. Sterling is a player that has always been unappreciated, even when he was at his prime. I think the only time where he received praise was during his early Liverpool days when he was considered a top youngster. He was the second youngest player after Michael Owen to score in a competitive fixture for Liverpool. In 2014, he was named the Liverpool Young Player of the Year. He even won the 2014 Golden Boy Award and was shortlisted for the PFA Young Player of the Year. But ever since his contract dispute with Liverpool, you rarely heard the media praise his performances on the pitch. When he was at City, he was putting up unreal numbers, yet the only media attention he would get was character assassination pieces. The Sun would sometimes make fun of him for being too cheap, then in a different piece, call him too flashy. They called him a love rat, criticize him for buying his mother a nice sink. Meanwhile at City, this whole time, he was playing at the highest level possible. In the 2017 season, he got 10 goals and 15 assists. As he adjusted to Pep's system more, he got even better, getting 23 goals and 13 assists in the 2018 season. 18 goals and 11 assists just in the Premier League, playing on both wings and some games at striker. His goals were clutch too. He scored the winner against Bournemouth in stoppage time, then scored a 96-minute winner against Southampton. Somehow, he got even better in 2019, getting 25 goals and 14 assists in all competitions, as he was named to the PFA Premier League Team of the Year and won the PFA Young Player of the Year. And guess who was in the dugout when Sterling was putting up these insane numbers? Mikel Arteta. Arteta was the right-hand man of Pep Guardiola, and as you can see from the clip I'm about to show you, Sterling and Arteta regularly discuss different parts of his game.
¿Qué te pasa tal? Digo, ¿fue consecuencia el segunda de la primera? Dice, no, me reaccioné bien. Dice, la otra. Pasa que me dice lo que Mikel me dice, que en vez de atacarla puse el pie. No ataqué el bola, por eso se me fue. ¿Estabas jodido? Dices, devastated.
So if there's somebody that knows all of Sterling's weaknesses and strengths, it would be Mikel Arteta. Because of this knowledge, Arteta can fit him in accordingly, whether he feels that Sterling would be better on the left or on the right, whether he's better as a starter or coming off the bench, because he can play on the left as a rotation with Martinelli and Trossard, or he can be the right wing backup for Saka so the Englishman can finally get some rest. He crashes the box well, has great attacking positioning, which is needed in this Arsenal team because they already have so many creators. Saka, Odegaard, Rice, Marino, even Havertz. The team will really benefit from having a winger like Sterling with that profile. He likes to make direct runs into the box, he likes to crash the box late, get on the end of crosses. They needed someone like that because everybody else kind of flourishes outside the box and with the ball. That's literally how Sterling used to have his best seasons at City. He would get into the box and guys like Kevin De Bruyne would feed him crosses. His job was just to get into the right position and make sure that he converted those crosses into goals.
Los goles que están metiendo Pep no es porque ha mejorado muchísimo una acción individual, sino porque repite mucho más la situación donde él se puede encontrar con el gol. Mete un montón de goles así. Casi toda la primera toque.
Sterling is a systems player, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I just feel he thrives when he gets specific instructions from the coach on exactly where to be and where to go. That's what Pep and Arteta provided him at City. A proper structure, a system where he knows his exact role. He knew exactly when to make his runs, where to be, and as a result, he was putting up numbers that were similar with Messi and Ronaldo. At Chelsea, there was no structure like this. They would sometimes play him on the left, play him on the right. Some games they would play possession, some games they would play a counter-attacking style. For me, it's always hard to judge an attacker if he's been bad at Chelsea, because 90% of the time, all attackers have been bad at Chelsea. Sterling might not be in his prime like his City days, but he is by no means finished like some people will try and tell you. Just 3 seasons ago, he got 17 goals and 8 assists. Last season for Chelsea, he got 10 goals and 8 assists in a very chaotic season for the Blues. Like I said, I find it very difficult to judge any attacker based on their Chelsea tenure. With so many coaches coming in and leaving, so many players being signed, it's really hard for somebody to get a rhythm, especially for an attacking player. Sometimes you don't even know if you're being played consistent, let alone who your teammates are going to be on match day. Just look at Kai Havertz. Chelsea fans kept claiming that he is finished and that he can't score, yet he's been doing fantastic at Arsenal. They were rushing to get rid of Jorginho, and now the Italian is a useful midfielder who can help dictate the tempo of a match and give the Gunners control in the middle of the park. Sterling is only 29 years old. I think people forget that because it feels like he's been around for so long because he started his career at such an early age. This also means that physically, he is by no means done. Maybe he's not as fast as he used to be in his prime, but he still has that burst of pace. He can still beat players, he can still get into the box quickly, he can still make runs in behind. Don't listen to the critics, he isn't done physically at all. On top of this, at Arsenal, he doesn't need to be the main man. The team is not going to be solely reliant on him to create chances and score goals. There's plenty of other players to help him. With the quality that Arsenal has, he just has to follow Arteta's instructions and be in the right position at the right time. It will be interesting to see what Arteta's plan for him is. Is he going to be a starter? Is he going to be a bench player? Is he going to rotate with the other guys in cup games? Either way, he's a clear upgrade over the players that left the club. Smith Rowe was never healthy, Reece Nelson was decent, but Sterling is much better. Sterling can have that X factor, which none of the 3 guys who departed the club really had. Don't get it twisted, across the years, all 3 of those guys had special moments at Arsenal, but Sterling is a much better player than all 3 of those guys. In terms of attitude, as I stated earlier, there's not any issues with it. It's more of a byproduct of the agenda the media has been pushing. Arteta is also a great judge of character. I don't think he would sign someone that he didn't feel like was mentally prepared to buy into the system and be a part of the squad. Especially when you look at Arteta's track record. Early in his Arsenal project, one of the biggest things he did was get rid of the prima donnas, get rid of the deadwood, getting rid of players who, even though they were talented, weren't mentally committed to the system. I don't think he would change all of that just so that he could get Raheem Sterling. Clearly, he's spoken to him and knows that Sterling will buy into the system. Sterling is a veteran in the league. He's been around forever. He has won titles and knows what it takes to become a champion. It never hurts to have that kind of experience in the locker room. The biggest issues with Sterling is actually his decision making and his inability to be clinical in front of goal at times. At Chelsea, there was a lot of instances where he would shoot instead of making the easy pass. Part of me wants to believe that this was due to the atmosphere at Chelsea. It's a bunch of mercenaries all playing for themselves, all playing for the next contract. At Arsenal, he should be more willing to pass the ball instead of looking out just only for himself. I also think because of the disrespect that Chelsea, Maresca, and some of his doubters have shown, Sterling will come into the season with a chip on his shoulder. He will be extremely motivated to perform and play well to silence anybody who had doubted his ability. Because you have to remember, he's on loan, so he has to play well so that hopefully either Arsenal signs him on a permanent deal or he does good enough where some other club will be interested in the next window, because there's no way that he can return back to Chelsea, especially if Maresca is still the manager. The way that Arteta has set up this team is literally for wingers to shine. You see what Trossard has been able to do, what Martinelli was doing when he was in form, what Saka does. Sterling was at his best when KDB was supplying him passes. In fact, if he was more clinical, he probably would have gone over 40 goals in a season. Now he will have Odegaard supplying him the same type of passes. Now let's say I'm wrong and Sterling doesn't work out. He doesn't finish his chances, doesn't really provide that much output. It's fine, because it's only a 1-season loan. Not only that, but half of his salary is literally being paid by his parent club. It's one of the best deals they could have possibly gotten in the market. Sure, an elite number 9 would have really helped this team, but the striker market isn't that easy. It's hard to afford a good number 9 that can also fit within the wage structure at the club. Why do you think no other club picked up Tony, so he had to go to Saudi Arabia? Why nobody wanted Osimhen? Arsenal had a terrific window, to be honest. Timber is basically like a new signing. Calafiori provides depth both at left back and center back. Marino fixes a lot of the midfield issues. Now Sterling provides depth and quality in the attack. As seen from the 2023 and 2024 season, when you were competing against City, the margins are tiny. Every advantage counts. Sterling can be that X factor to win them an extra game here and there, like he did for City all those years. Reunited with someone who was by his side during his best days, the Arteta-Sterling combo might be the ingredient to finally allow Arsenal to become champions. Sterling will now get to play next to someone who he played with at the national level, Saka. To see how Saka has become the new prince at Arsenal, you have to check out this video right here.